Welcome to Songwriters from Here and Away. This is a show that focuses on new and established songwriters from Atlantic Canada, across Canada, and around the world. Hello, and thanks for tuning in. My name's Robert Campbell. This week we get to feature Youngtree and Carole B. I caught up with this duo at the Carlton in Halifax when they were doing a dual show with Terra Spencer. I caught up with them in the green room beforehand and had a chat, so I'll intersperse some of that with the live show.
Youngtree.
Yes.
And Carole B.
Yes.
You got it.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been playing together?
Well,
We first performed together at
in 2015.
2015 at the release of my solo album, which was
Cool.
Peter Willie Youngtree. The album was called Country Hymns. We released it at the Ship Pub.
Oh, yeah.
In St. John's,
St. John's.
Newfoundland.
Yep.
I almost went in there last week. I was over visiting. I love St. John's.
It's a great venue.
Great room.
Yeah.
Great room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was your first album, and have you guys done albums together? Like
Yeah,
more than
that
one?
was Peter's solo album, Country Hymns, and he got a band of people together for the album release. Sorry, and then that group of musicians, the five of us, kind of had a great rapport and a great energy. So that is the band that evolved into the Blooms. So then we started playing together regularly as a 5-piece country alt band, Youngtree and the Blooms, and then it morphed again, kind of in 2020 when things required paring down. The duo kind of became an offshoot of Youngtree and the Blooms. So we took Peter's songs and like the Blooms catalog and arranged it for acoustic folk duo for a couple of opportunities, and then that sort of took its own life. And
then
here
we
we
started.
are now.
Then we're like, hey, we like playing together.
Yeah.
But let's, we've all done gigs and things of just playing music that you have to play, and we're like, let's just do music that we love to play, nothing else.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's an original, cover, genre, irrelevant. So we play, we do a version of Pipeline by the Ventures on fiddle and acoustic guitar.
Cool.
We now write together. We write instrumental tunes together. We do stuff that, my own songs, and Carole also has become a songwriter in this period of time.
Yes.
And it's growing.
So it's an eclectic mix of things, but it's all in that acoustic folk duo setting. Yeah.
Great. Good.
Yeah.
So, and you live in St. John's proper, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Whereabouts?
Downtown.
Right downtown?
Downtown area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live.
Do you live in
Close.
one of those jelly bean houses, as they call them?
I do.
Carole does. I live in a row house that's not very jelly beany. Mine's gray, but Carole lives proper in one of the iconic
Downtown homes.
homes that you see
Moments
pictures
from the
of.
ship. Yeah.
Well, that's the place to be, isn't it? It
Oh, I
makes
love
it
it.
easy for you, doesn't it?
It does. As a gigging musician, it makes it very easy to be living downtown already.
Yeah. Good. So, and you've been playing keyboards? and
Fiddle.
Fiddle?
Yeah, just fiddle. I'm
Just
a fiddle player.
I saw a keyboard up there. Oh, that's
That's
Terra.
for Terra.
That's for Terra.
Yeah.
So you play fiddle?
Yes.
And sing?
Yes.
And
I'm on
Peter, you
guitar
play
and sing.
Guitar and sing. Cool. And you've been playing for a million years, or?
I started playing guitar when I was 11 years old, and I'm turning 37. So what's the math?
That's a while.
Yeah. I should be way better given the amount of time I've been playing. But
Nah.
I went back to my kindergarten report cards a little while ago.
Yeah.
My mother had them all kept, and I just was reading through them. And every semester on the report card, the teacher wrote, "His fine motor skills are not very good." And I was, like, maybe that's why I went more toward songwriting than real technical guitar playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Although in this duo, I've had to get my chops up.
Right.
So,
you're pushing it, eh?
Pushing it.
Yeah. And on fiddle, violin, did you take violin as a kid? And
Oh
learn
yes,
all that?
yes. I am. I am classically trained. My childhood consisted of classical music lessons between September and June, and then in the summers, it was all like folk fiddle camps and old time jamborees. And I grew up in the prairie, so it was just like fiddle competitions every weekend kind of thing in the summer months. So I feel really grateful for that upbringing and that training, actually, because they both complemented each other throughout my life, which is amazing.
A very good friend of mine who was actually my kindergarten music teacher and my piano teacher and my grade 6 teacher, and someone who took me under his wing when I was in high school to develop me musically. His name was Billy Houlihan, and he was about 35 years my senior, and he became ill a while back and had to go into the hospital for a potentially life-saving surgery, treatment. And during that time, when I would talk with him, conversations got a little more deep. Our conversations were often deep anyway, but found him very inspiring. And so after one particular conversation, I was on the phone with him. I got off and I wrote this song. I recorded it and sent it to him, and he, in the hospital, woke up from a dream in which he and I were playing guitar together. And he told his daughter, send a text to Peter Willie, he called me. Send a text to Peter Willie, because that's my middle name. And tell him I just had a dream that we were playing music together. And she picked up the phone and said, Peter just sent you a song. And so had a little synchronous encounter via text message. So this is for and about Billy Houlihan, a great friend and mentor of mine. It's called Heaven Ain't a Lonely Road. I was speaking with my friend in his hospital bed, waiting for a cure to flying on a plane. And he told me this, half this battle is having friends that love and help you on the way. We're not here to do this alone. We got people pushing us along. If heaven's a path, then all I know, yeah, all I know is that, ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. You can sing this if you know it. Ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. He said it's times like this when the real power shows in all the friendships that you've made. Now all the love I feel, more than I could have known. I think that now I could face any type of weather. And I've had time to reflect on all the friends I had and choices that I've made. And I do not regret a thing, because I gave them all I had. Ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. Ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. He said, I know you got something you're waiting to become, and that belongs to you alone. But don't forget about the friends by your side. You never reach that place if you try to get there on your own. Now you and me, we always rode together, and you know it's made each of us better. I want you to remember the people you can lean on. You got potential, man, so just dream on, dream on. And don't dwell too long or think too much on all the loneliness you feel along the way. I will give you my touch. Ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. Ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. Ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. heaven ain't a lonely road, no, yeah. Ooh, heaven ain't a lonely road. Thank you. All right, we're having fun, right?
Yeah. Woo, God, that's great.
Let's have some more fun.
Woo. Party time.
Yeah, I met Terra last year. Didn't know she was a funeral director at first when I met her. But it all makes so much sense now. We share something in common, I think, and that is, well, I like to write songs about dying too. And this song is, it's kind of like that, except it's fun. And it's about a party. The party we all get to go to, called the Dirt Party. Yeah, that's right. And this is called Dirt Party. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, ever since the day she got fired, Kelly has been living on a string. She sold most everything she had acquired. She come to see that stuff don't mean a thing. Hey, she sold her house, she sold her El Camino, and she gave that cash right to the Sally Ann. She said, I'm broke, but it don't bother me, no, whoa, no, 'cause it won't mean nothing when I'm in the sand. She said, you might as well be a blade of grass, a bump on a log, ooh, splinter in your ass. You're better off trying to make some friends, yeah, 'cause we're headed for that dirt party. And now Charlie was in love with his body. I tell you, he'd check the mirror 50 times a day. He'd give himself a wink and he'd say, Lordy, please, God, don't ever take my looks away. Oh, but he was up against the laws of time and physics, and he couldn't fight the migration of his hair. So he bought himself a Jaguar and a Rolex, oh yeah. But it's too bad, Charlie, no one cares, 'cause you might as well be a blade of grass, a bump on a log, ooh, splinter in your ass. Yeah. Better off trying to make some friends, yeah, 'cause we're headed for that dirt party. We're all headed for that dirt party. Tell them, girl. Try our best not to be forgotten. We might get ahead, but we'll never win, because in the end we all wind up rotten, yeah, like a bunch of turnips in a compost bin. And you might as well be a blade of grass, a bump on a log, ooh, splinter in the ass. All right, you're better off trying to make some friends, yeah, 'cause we're headed for that dirt party. We'll be pushing daisies at that dirt party. Yeah, we're all headed for that dirt party.
Thanks, everybody. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's keep the dance party going. We're going to do a set of instrumentals for you next. These are 2 tunes. The first one is one that I wrote. The second one is one that Peter wrote. The first one is called Sunrise Orange, and it's this little
country tune. I've been living in St. John's for 12 years, but I'm originally from Saskatchewan, so my roots are full of old-time fiddle jams and weekend jamborees and rodeos and hay bales and wheat fields and stuff like that. So anyway, so it comes out in my playing a lot. So the first one's this little country melody called Sunrise Orange, and when I was writing the tune, it just reminded me of the color of orange that you see when you watch a sunrise, so that's why I named it that one. And when the Youngtree and the Carole B duo was getting on the go and we were trying to figure out what to play, I showed this tune to Peter and was like, Peter, you should learn this, we should do it, woo! And he's like, great, Carol, that sounds awesome. And then, Peter, this is when I pass the story on to you.
I got it. I got the story. I'm over here with it. I practiced it a lot. I went to my parents' cabin for a few days just learning stuff, and I practiced this song of hers a lot. Practiced it so much, hours, and then went to sleep. And when I went to sleep, it came into my dreams. I heard Carol's fiddle playing. But the mind is a funny place and funny thing because it alters stuff. And in the dream, a completely different song started playing. And I just shot awake from this dream with, I sat up and I still had the melody just playing on a reel in my head. So I grabbed my recording software, also known as an iPhone, and just sang it into there. And it was there was no moon in the sky. And I said, that's kind of like Carol's Sunrise Orange, but it's not. And it was in a dream. And now there's no moon. So this is Moonless Dream. So I called it Moonless Dream. And I had to figure it out on guitar, and then Carol had to figure it out on fiddle, and all that took about 3 years.
Oh my, let me tell you.
So what you're about to hear, ladies and gentlemen, is
A feat.
Is a third of a decade's work.
A musical endeavor. Okay.
All right.
Sunrise, Orange, and Moonless Dream. I like a 2 and 3. Thank you.
What you want to do next, Carol?
We could do the one that's next.
You can do the one that's next.
Okay.
Play the one that's next.
We'll play the one that's on the set list next. Sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we make set lists and follow them, and sometimes we make set lists and don't follow them, and sometimes we just have a list of songs and follow our hearts. And that works too, but I think we can do this next one.
This is a song that Carol wrote. Very aspirational number, I would say.
Oh, that's nice of you to say, Peter. Thank you. I'm a fiddle player most days, and I have been for my whole life. I'm really lucky that I had a mother who valued music and made sure that me and my siblings all played string instruments, even though she was a pianist. Anyway, so I don't have any memories of not playing the violin, because I started when I was 3 years old. And it's been my primary thing for my whole life. And recently, I would say it was probably 2018 when I started to get itchy for something new, something different, a different kind of challenge, a different kind of edge. And the idea of writing a song was something I did in high school in my angsty years. Those will never see the light of day. But in 2018, I tried to think about something that was terrifying and something that was courageous, and writing songs was that. And so I decided to take on the RPM Challenge, which is this wonderful, spirited thing, the Record Production Month Challenge. It's this wonderful thing that happens in the month of February, and the whole slogan is, make a record of original music because you can. And it's not about professionalism, and it's not about perfection. It's just about creating and doing something new. So I took that as an opportunity to try and write some songs, and it just lit a spark in me, and it's something that I've been thinking about and doing every once in a while ever since. And so this is the first song that kind of came out of me in that chapter. That's called My Whimsy is Showing, and it's all about being courageous and trying new things. I want to be somebody who doesn't mind the risk of standing with her toes upon the edge of a cliff. To stand there on the edge and dream to really fly, to taste the freedom it would bring, to float up and say goodbye. I wonder where I'd go. I wonder what I'd see. I wonder if I'd miss my home or if it would miss me. I dream of a place where anything could be. I want to embrace that adventurous side of me, the one that can fly, chase bubbles in the air, her head in the clouds, and all her love to share. I want to find a way to make my dream world stay, to bring that freedom closer to my everyday. I guess it's my chance, my calling, some might say, my head in the sky, my feet planted in today, I'll find a way to embrace the edge. I want to find a way to make my dream world stay, to bring that freedom closer to my everyday. Thank you.
You're listening to Youngtree and Carole B on Songwriters from Here and Away. My name is Robert Campbell. Please do look us up online, Songwriters from Here and Away at gmail.com, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you'd like to hear. Now, back to Youngtree and Carole B live at the Carlton.
Terra has mentioned a few times about having that album, Other People's Wives. No, Lives, Other People's Lives. The song was Other People's Wives. Not confusing at all. Not confusing at all. And yeah, I relate to that because, you know, I also started writing in the country vein. And it is about heartbreak and about things not going well. And people would come up to me. I had this song that mentioned... you know, I had the, you know, I hate my father in the song, and then people, and that he was, you know, being horrible to my mother, and people are like, wow, I didn't know your dad was such an asshole. He's not. This is just a song, guys. You know, you don't commit this autobiographical fallacy. Here's another one that this is not an autobiographical song, but it fulfills my dark fantasy needs. Called Can't Be Nothing I Ain't. On a prison phone, I said I wasn't sure I wanted to live this life anymore. Please forgive me, dear, for I misspoke. But this place has got me against the ropes. And sometimes my words get ahead of my brain. I didn't mean to worry you, that's just who I am. I can't be nothing I ain't. Still I wish I had shown some restraint. Let's get some stomping on it. You guys want to do this with us? We'll do a little and down and on Walter Street that night in July. Every day it takes hold of my mind. The man in the gold chain and the baggy white shirt came up from behind and reached his hand up your skirt. And sometimes my hands get ahead of my brain. I pulled out my knife, pushed it deep past its chain. I can't be nothing I ain't. Still I wish I had shown some restraint. Well, he fell to the ground. There was nothing to be done. He was dead before the ambulance come. And I got 15 years for my short fuse. 15 years in government shoes. And I'll never get the sight out of my head how his eyes bulged out as his shirt dripped red. I can't be nothing I ain't. Still I wish I had shown some restraint. I can't be nothing I ain't. Still I wish I had shown some restraint.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Placentia Bay, Newfoundland. My grandfather was a fisherman. You know, my mother was one of 16 children. My father's one of 11. And
Cousins galore.
53 first cousins. That's written into a song somewhere. It hasn't
Yeah.
been recorded yet, but it's in there.
Cool.
And my grandfather fisherman. On my mother's side, like you said, super poor family. He fished. He went to World War II.
Yeah.
He was traumatized. He had serious mental health issues. He was a severe alcoholic, and none of the money in that from his he once sold his boat for $50 so he could, and just started buying rounds of drinks for everyone at a bar.
Oh my!
Until my grandmother came down and told the guy who he sold the boat to, "You don't get this boat, and you're not getting your money back," and he left.
This is from the newest Youngtree and the Blooms album, where I'm wearing this very thing, as I mentioned. It's called I'm Not That Anymore. I once was a child, tender and naive. I could walk through a desert and still find life, and laughter brought me to my knees. But I'm not that anymore. I'm not that anymore. So I became a country singer. They told me I should write songs about trucks, girls, and beer, and I gave up my voice like I didn't have a choice, until one day I looked myself in the mirror and I said, I'm not that anymore. I'm not that anymore. They can knock, they can bang, they can beat on my door, but I'm not that anymore. There was a seed in the ground, and it grew up with help from all that's around. Change color, change shape, and offered itself for the world to take. and I will fall from great heights, become part of a snow, join in a river's flow before taking my place in the ocean. And I'll rise again. I'm not that anymore. I'm not that anymore. You can call out my name, I won't answer, 'cause I'm not that anymore. You can search up and down everywhere, every wind. You can write me in your story, insist and pretend. But if you are still living in yesterday, then I'm not that anymore.
Well, you know, it's that story is not without its similarities in
Yeah.
other people's lives, right?
Yeah,
Right.
There's a lot of that going on, and I guess it gives you fodder for songs.
I
maybe.
really want to write a song about this story.
Yeah.
It's always it's a very evocative story. I picture my grandmother who did not drink, who did not curse, who had to get a ferry over to this little gap down from Jersey side to Placentia and go to this dive bar because the bartender phoned her and said,
Here's what's going on.
"Yeah, here's what's going
Yeah.
on. You better do something about it."
Collect your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just picture her going down, and apparently she just, I picture like an old Western saloon with the batwing doors, and just like her silhouette appearing, and everyone just stopping and and maybe holding a rolling pin still because she often had a rolling pin, and a bandana and a dress. And apparently she did not look at my grandfather. She walked up to the bar and ordered a double screech and Coke and drank it. And then she ordered another one and drank it, walked over to the fella who had taken advantage of this situation, told him off,
Oh, that's
got the deed to the boat back, and left. And
This is called Something Divine, and I wrote it several years ago. It might be the first song we sang together.
It was the first song we sang together.
It's on the album Musical Chairs and on our new EP. Did you see that pure white milkweed blow beyond the stubborn pine? Did you see the grass wear a coat of snow? Isn't it divine? Honey, we chose something divine. Did you hear the geese cry out, my love, earlier this morn? Did you see the heron fly so low, land upon our porch? Honey, we chose something divine. And did you feel the wind of a housefly's wings like a tiny storm? The winter's long, but she's safe in here. We'll help her to keep warm.
Can you smell the cedar burn, my love, in our iron stove? We have waited long, now it's our turn to rest in peace and love. Honey, we chose something divine. Honey, we chose something divine. Honey, we chose something divine. Something divine. Something divine. Something divine. Something divine.
You're listening to Youngtree and Carole B on Songwriters from Here and Away. Just a reminder that we are available online all the time through our podcast on podbean.com. So look up Songwriters from Here and Away. Give us a like, a follow, a share, all that. The artists really appreciate it, and so do I. Thank you. I don't usually play cover songs, but this one's a little different. A great arrangement by Carole B.
But this is a real, definitively so. And it's called Shine You No More. And it's was written by members of the Danish String Quartet and arranged for a string quartet. The Danish String Quartet is a wonderful group. So anyways, I played it with a string quartet at a show in St. John's, and Peter was there in the audience. He said, we should do that in our duo. And I was like, that's a great idea, but how? And then we figured it out, and here it is.
Is that how I talk? Carole, man.
Man, we should do this in our duo. No, not oh my, the brain's a funny thing. Yeah, so this is Shine You No More for guitar and fiddle, and enjoy. One, two, three, four.
So now you're writing together as well. Do you write with other people on occasion too, or is it just generally the two of you?
Thank you.
You know, a lot of like instrumental songs were kind of now. There's like a back and forth energy between us. You know, I'm showing Carol a little riff, and then she's riffing on that, or she shows me a melody she has, and I'm gonna put chords under it,
Right.
and then
There's
we're
a great collaboration.
and then kind of
Cool.
see where it goes. But there has been, I think we have a few seedlings of more lyrical songs together now as well.
Yeah, historically through the duo and through the five-piece band as well. Peter will bring his original songs and we'll arrange them. And I guess probably in 2018 I started writing songs. I mean, similarly, I wrote songs for fun when I was a teenager, but those won't see the light of day ever either. But in 2018, I wanted to just try something different, and got into like the thought of songwriting and wrote a couple things, and Peter was very encouraging in that. So I
Good.
think some of them are. Yeah.
Well, and as you go back through those pieces that you've written before, there might be kernels to take out too, right?
Totally.
A lot of songwriters, probably you guys do, and I know I do, have my notes, and I
Yes.
have a Google Doc with 60 pages, 70 pages of stuff in it. Some of it's just one line, or a title, or a concept, or a verse, or a chorus, or
Totally.
whatever, right?
Yeah, and the voice memo after voice memo of like,
Yeah.
oh, here's a little melody that
Yeah.
could become a song someday or a tune.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good for you. Right on.
Yeah.
So you're doing this tour with Terra, which is great. That's
Yay.
a lot of fun. She's
Yeah.
lovely to work with.
So fabulous.
Yeah.
I usually get stuck playing by myself, so I am really in awe and a little bit green with envy at the dynamic between these two, because it's so fun to watch you both jumping around and not crashing into each other. That's pretty cool. And,
Yet. Haven't
yeah.
crashed into each other yet.
There have been a few crashes.
when I do get the chance, though, to step up with other folks on stage, it is a real treat. So we would love to play one last tune together for you. And this is a song about Lunenburg. And last night we were in Bridgetown, and these folks played a song about Bridgetown, called Bridgetown. And I realized we might have upset the town of Canning, because when we were in Canning, we did not play a song about Canning. So we have a little bit of makeup to do there. So for now, though, a little waltz from Lunenburg. The church glowing golden, I remember your smile and the echo of footsteps as we met in the aisle. And the music was gentle, but it lifted us high. It was just an old folk song, but it still made me cry. We went to a party with some friends down the street. The wine kept on flowing as we followed our feet to a house on the hillside while the town was asleep. Every step on the staircase had a secret to keep. All the words I remember, and I remember the tune at the end of September, and me and you and the Lunenburg moon. in the bed of a captain with sails for its sheets, and the room was so quiet, just whispers and waves. In the darkness we drifted, two souls to be saved. All the words I remember, and I remember the tune at the end of September, and me and you and the Lunenburg moon. Now you're far from the harbor, and the ship has sailed on, and the shore winds blow colder the longer you're gone. And I wait by the window, and I watch the snow fly, and you're miles from the ocean with no moon in the sky. All the words I remember, and I remember the tune at the end of September, and me and you and the Lunenburg moon. At the end of September, and me and you and the Lunenburg moon.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for coming.